Alright, so we're here this morning to go through a speech that I have prepared. You guys may or may not know I'm taking a couple classes at Metro Community College. It's an online college, and I'm taking a speech 110 class. And I've already given one speech. This is my second one. This one's a demonstration speech. So what that really means is it's an interactive speech. So if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, I hope you don't really have any concerns, but questions, comments, throw them out there. We'll address them as we go. It should be a little bit of fun, nothing too crazy. I know I've golfed with almost every one of you except Eric, so a little bit of help how to improve your swing, or just any little tidbits on how to strengthen your swing or make it easier for you to swing. So we'll hop right into it. The basic concepts of the swing are swing plane, swing speed, the grip, exercise and control, and analyze. So I'm going to jump into each one of these 5 things right now. We're going to just kind of go through each one as individually and just kind of dissect it, what it actually is, what it does, how you can improve it, and what it actually does for your swing. So the swing plane. So the swing plane is the path of motion of the swing. So this, basically if you can imagine a, I don't know, call it a light or a path that follows your club head as you bring it back and then back down through and all the way back through your follow through. You can imagine that light just making a big arc all the way around you. That's your swing plane. So what that's broken out into, as we golf, is the backswing, the forward swing or the downswing, and then the follow through. So just an example of the swing plane, like I'm saying, if you can just imagine, a arc or something like that. This is where his swing plane is all the way through. He brings it back straight through there and then down straight through. This example is kind of small, but this is a bad swing plane. So you can see the line drawn here, and his club is actually way up here. So what that's called is coming over the top. So you're bringing the club back and you're actually coming down and chopping at it, which causes a slice. So if you can find a way to find this imaginary line, bringing your club back and finding a comfortable way of bringing it all the way through, that's what you're looking to do. And that's what swing plane is really causing. It's really an easy way to help improve your swing, is to help adjust your swing plane. So like I said, there's 3 different parts to the swing plane. There's the backswing. So these 3 parts are the real meat of the golf swing. So if you can master these 3 parts, everything else after that is just how you feel comfortable. So the backswing, what you want to do is you want to swing away from, swing the club away with your hands. The club head needs to come away. You're coming really big and really strong. And what you do is you're bringing it around, you maintain your hips and you're not turning too much, but you also want to get a big shoulder turn. And one of the things, this is one of the hardest things I had to get used to, is taking that shoulder and putting it underneath your chin. So for anyone that's, really just trying to get used to it, most of the time they're just like this. They don't do any sort of, and that's where all your power comes from, is when you bring your shoulder back underneath your chin. So one of the tools that I found to help me with that was this thing, which is really kind of a funky deal. But what it does is it makes you guide it back. And once you get to the top, your shoulder has to turn. So you're bringing this all the way back, shoulders turning, and then you bring it all the way back down through. So that was just a tool that I found in high school. I actually bought it at a garage sale, and it still has the wrapper on it, so that's kind of fun. Another thing that I've learned is to keep the backswing really slow. Don't try to rush it. If you try to bring your backswing back really fast, you're going to lose balance, you're going to start turning and twisting and everything else. But if you keep it really slow, then you just keep moving on with your golf swing. The second step to the swing plane is the downswing, or the forward swing. I call it the downswing. But once you get through with your backswing, the first step that I have been taught to do is you bring it back, and your first step is your hands drop. That's your first movement, hands drop, coming all the way through. So that's just me. There's other ways to do it, but you'll feel your shoulders separating from your chin and your body starting to unwind. You're feeling all that power starting to come through your body to turn and go through the ball. So bring it back, hands drop, and then everything else goes after that. The third and final part of the swing plan is the follow through. This seems like it's one of the least looked at parts of the swing for most beginning golfers and amateur golfers. The follow through is really a big part because you're actually pointing when you get through. Your back foot comes to a point and your body's actually pointing to where you want the ball to go. You're pointing at the target. So you get your alignment, you know, a quick way to check where you're aiming is to do one of these. But when you do the follow through, swinging through and your body's coming right around and you're pointing at the target. So one of the mistakes I actually made right there is when you're coming through, you want to finish high. You want your wrists high, you want your arms high. Don't just follow through like this and hook the ball across the course. The second step, or the second breakout of the 5, is swing speed. And this is a pretty easy concept to think of, is the basic speed at which the club head is swung. One of the harder things to get across to a lot of people is you don't need to swing hard to hit it far. So one of the things I was taught in high school is if you want to hit it further, get a bigger club. So nice easy swing. The downswing is where most of your speed is developed. So if you just take a nice easy fluid motion, you're going to hit the ball straight, and being straight is a lot better than being far. So here's a swing speed chart that I found on the internet. This just kind of shows the general miles per hour that, you know, amateur golfers swing, average, you know, just normal golfers like us swing, and the long drive pros. So we're usually somewhere in the 75 to 100 to 110 range when we swing, which means with a driver we're hitting it 220, 230, 240, somewhere in there. The tour pros, 125, they're hitting, you know, between 250 and 300 consistently. And the guys like Tiger Woods, who are 150 miles an hour plus, they're hitting the ball, you know, 300, 350. So no time soon do I see myself ever hitting or swinging 150 miles an hour. But if I do, if I try to do that, I know I'm not going to hit a good shot. So one of the biggest things is just to slow your swing down until you're really comfortable, until you really get the swing plan, the downswing, the backswing, all that going. Then you can start swinging harder and hitting it further. Now this kind of comes in at a weird part of the speech, but the grip is also one of the other important factors in golf. A lot of people that have played baseball will try to choke the club and just step up and rip it. What I like to do is the one thumb pointing down, the other thumb over it, both thumbs pointing down at the face of the club. And one of the other things with the grip is actually the grip is right before I swing, I usually put my club head on the ground. I let go of everything, and I just get a nice gradual grip on it. If you try to choke the club, you know, if you death grip it, you can see just by me death gripping, everything else starts tensing up and everything goes around it. So if I death grip, everything's going to start, I'm not going to get all the swing that I want, you know, the nice fluid motion. So you need to, I set it down, get relaxed, everything's just a nice fluid motion after that. So the fourth thing of my speech is exercise and control. So this is just a basic concept. Exercise. You want to use specific exercises for your golf swing to help better your golf swing. So if you go to the gym and they have the machines with the weights and the cord, you know, just putting a light weight on there and doing any sort of, for your lower back or your torso and your forearms and your shoulders. The backswing with a dumbbell, that one seems kind of hard to me, but holding a dumbbell and actually coming back, just keep doing this repetition. There it is, the stationary swing with a medicine ball. So that's basically, you know, 10-pound medicine ball, same deal. Just keep, you know, moving the hips, lower backs, getting a workout. But also any core exercises to help with balance and any strengthening of your abs to help, you know, with the turn, the shoulder turn and the follow through. Because anything you can do to stabilize your swing, help you with your balance or any of that stuff, it's going to help your golf swing. This is picking up where the other, I don't know what you want to call it, stopped. Our last final step of trying to improve your golf swing is the analyze portion. So, you know, if you hit a bad shot, the best thing to do versus just tossing your club, getting frustrated or pissed off or whatever you want to call it, is stepping up, practicing your swing again, slowing it down, and just really trying to analyze what went wrong and what could go better. So that's a pretty simple step. Just one more basic one to analyzing or improving your golf swing. This is my bibliography where I found all my information, and at this point I'm going to open it up for any questions. Jimbo.
On your backswing, should you stop at the top?
I know some pros do. I do not. Top of the backswing seems like if you stop it, you're killing all your momentum. So nice fluid motion all the way through is the way I would go. Doesn't mean you can't do it. If it feels comfortable to you, go for it. I just do not. Anyone else?
Sean, does your swing speed vary from your irons to your low irons to your wedge? Do you try to keep it the same speed?
Swing speed? Yeah. Try to keep it the same speed. It depends on how far of a shot I'm trying to hit though. I'm using my wedges. Driver is definitely a lot more than the lower irons. But yeah, swing speed tries the same. Try to keep it consistent. Try messing with it too much, you're gonna really throw your swing out of whack. Anything else? Jesse?
Sometimes when I try to loosen my grip of the club, I tend to find out my club will spin on me at the point of contact. How do I control that?
Well, one thing is just comfort, you know, how it feels comfortable to you. So, you know, my thing of letting go and then just barely grabbing it, that's what works for me. But you might have to grip it a little bit harder. And another thing I would check too is your grips, your club grips, because if they're wore out or slippery or anything, you could be death gripping it and still lose your club through impact. So that'd be one thing I would check. Anything else? Okay. I need to pan my audience here for my teacher to make sure I gave a speech to 4 people. So Eric, Jesse, Jim, Sean. Thanks guys.